Hey, what's going on, y'all? Um, come outside. The block's been blocked off. I guess they're doing some work. The water department is doing some work down there. There was an actual sinkhole at the end of my block, which um, luckily they're fixing it. But anyway, this weekend was great. Had a great weekend. Oh, let me move this. Yeah, had a great weekend with the family. We went on a little mini vacation. We went to Ocean City, Maryland. I've never been to the beaches in Ocean City, Maryland, but it was quite nice. Um, the drive was a bit long. We went on a Friday afternoon, which was okay. You gotta stop from complaining. It was good, but it was a long drive. Taking down the coast, you make it all the way over to Ocean City, Maryland. But it was great. The weather was awesome. We had a really good time. Just laughing and joking and spending time with family was just what the doctor ordered. So it was a really good time. But I'm here now, and I wanted to do a August garden tour up the front because again, the back I have yet to make it look um, presentable. It's still producing peppers and tomatoes occasionally, but it just didn't do what I wanted it to do this year, and it's partly due to the overgrown tree. So things are green, but they're not really producing like I want them to. And then everything's as I guess a nice word is to say it's lush. Everything, the weeds growing so quickly back there, and it takes so much manpower to keep things tame. But the front looks good, so I'll show you that. So we have this pot here, which had a celosia in it, which it had seen better days. So I pulled that out and put this heuchera in there, and it's a perennial, so that should stay. Hopefully, it'll live in this pot for a few, um, seasons because it's an evergreen. It should do well because this gets full sun back here. I mean up here, so it should kind of look good throughout the winter, and then perk up and be great next year. And if it needs to be repotted in the ground, put into the ground eventually, then I'll do that. But for right now, I'm enjoying the that replacing the celosias, which were great. They were wonderful, nice structural pieces, but then they started to fade out, so I pulled those out. Prickly pear cactus. It put on new lobes this year. It put out a lot of blossoms, as you can see here. It was great. Um, my little topiary bushes here need to be trimmed. I'll make those into the three little spheres again. On this next level here, we have the coleus, which I planted on a really, really hot day, but it has loved its little life under this little microclimate here, and in this nice little shaded area here. Creeping Jenny is taking over my variegated Liriope here. Um, but that's okay. I love the texture. For me, it's all about the mixing, intermingling of textures here. The coneflowers, they just the gift that keeps on giving. I have yet to have to cut anything off. They're doing a little gangsterly now because they're getting towards the end of the season, but for the most part, they were phenomenal this year. The petals are beginning to go away, but the seed heads are beautiful in themselves. So even if the petals fall off, it's still a very nice addition to the garden. The bird bath has a little algae in it, needs to be cleaned out. This rose here, it's getting ready to put on a new flush of flowers in this cooler summer weather. Peppers have been doing good. There's some on there that need to be picked. It dried out a bit, that's why it's a little yellow, but it produced. This was a coneflower that I got off the discount rack, and I just threw it in this pot here and just placed it here for now. You have the coleus and the petunia. I threw that little ugly pot back there because a cat decided to poop there. So I needed to put something there so that there's no blank areas. Because if there's a blank area with raw soil, the cats seem to think it's a litter box. My roses suffered tremendously this year, and that's okay. Some years are good, some years are bad. This was a bad year. Even with my spraying, they were much better in the spring than they were in the summer. The summer has really done them in, but they're producing, growing. I just have to not take it so personally and cut most of this off and then let it flush back out for next year, and it'll be just fine. I'll cut this stem off here. It looks like it has a little bit of a mold issue on this magnolia. But yeah, the magnolia really did what I wanted to do, which was block all the ugly behind it and create this like wall of beauty. So next spring it should be nice when it puts out all of its beautiful purple blossoms. These teddy bear sunflowers are great. I love those. I love those so much. Just having that full head of petals there just is awesome. I don't know what variety this is, but they're kind of small, and they just keep putting on little blossoms here. There's another one here. That's done. But yeah, it was just a little small patch of sunflowers here. There's some that still need to blossom. There's a willow, pussy willow behind there that I planted this year, and I probably planted it too close to everything else. But once the sunflowers are up, I'll assess whether or not I need to pull that out or not, because it began to die back there. But it's okay. That coleus back there looks wonderful. As you can see, it was half the size it is now, and it is amazing, amazing, amazing color. There's a lemon cypress. There's more coneflowers here. There's a purple sand cherry, which is doing well. I planted that also this year. These polka dot flowers are doing quite nicely. There's an occasional pieces of grass here. I simply just come in and pull those out like so, and then that does that. But the polka dot flowers just added a nice contrast amongst this pennywort, which is what I use for a ground cover here. As you can see, it creeps really nicely. The Chartreuse stuff is Creeping Jenny, which kind of like intermingles itself in there, which is quite nice. This is a coneflower that I planted this year. It's not too big this year because it's new, but next year it should be really nice. Fill up this area and just add that extra color into the garden. The creeping phlox back there is been done, but it's still green. It'll be great for next year. There's a marigold seed. I don't know how I got there, but oh well. These boxwoods needs to be trimmed, but I'll do that in a few weeks when the weather is not as hot. These elephant ears, should have never planted them here. But it is what it is. I learned this is not the best spot for them. But next year I'll plant them somewhere else. I have my bird of paradise, which hopefully I get a blossom. They've been putting out a lot of leaves. It looks really healthy, so hopefully I get a nice blossom off of those, and I can show that to you all. But here's the front. Everything still looks good. Of course, there's that end of the season where things are, kind of fizzling out a bit. But for the most part, everything looks good. My bald cypress, it has put on so much height. It stays really narrow I did a hard prune last year, so it has a really tight um, shape, but it really complements everything that grows here. The things on the steps, I have swapped those out as things have died or things needed to be replaced. This pot here has a hydrangea in it that was off the discount rack, and I have a little light here, and it's, it'll be like this for this season, but next season it'll be something else. Here's the pig I planted up this season. I have a ponytail palm in the front, asparagus fern in the back, and it looks quite nice on the steps. There's nasturtium that I was trying to let it go to seed, and it just keeps putting out flowers, which is quite nice. Have this coleus, which I really like. This coleus, I don't know what the name of it is, but this chartreuse green with that pink just really works well out here in the front. I had some extra ponytail palm I just threw in here. It's actually an Olo solar light. I just stuck it in the pot to give it a little height and a little texture. Some more, a mix of things that are already in the garden just to bring that same look over here. Petunia, coleus, coneflower, nasturtium. Things are coming towards the end. They dried out a bit, but they'll be all right. Even if I come in here and clip some of this stuff off, it'll push out new color for the last few weeks of summer. The bumblebees are still enjoying it. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks really good. I wanted to show you the things that are growing on the porch. This is the silver sequoia. This is a house plant that I repotted at the beginning of the season, and it's really loving it outside. I mean, it looks so lush. I love the textures of the leaves. Now, I was almost about to give this plant away, but I think I changed my mind. I'll keep it inside and then just bring it out every year, because I really have loved it out here on the porch. It's quite nice. Here's my Rose of Sharon bonsai, which has done really well. It's even putting out small, teeny tiny blossoms, which I knew if it went to blossom, it must be happy. It has dried out a couple of times. I have to remember to keep it watered, but I love the little curve here I created with the wire. I could also curve this one down, but yeah, I did. It looks good. This is some type of aloe. I've searched to find the name. I think I've narrowed it down. But it put out a seed. Stalk with blossoms on it, which are the same color as the coneflowers back there, which has been really nice to see that color family, that relationship there. Just so nice. This was a gift, and I didn't know it put out a flower or a blossom, but it did, and it was this tall skinny stem and then the flowers, and it's just lovely. And then we had this project that I did, which, as you can see, the succulents are growing. There may have been one that died here in the front, but other than that, everything seems to be holding on and doing quite nicely. This one was leaning towards the sun. I just spent it around, but yeah, I'll have to find a place to put this inside. This is not a potato. That is a stone, but yeah, the only thing I did lose was this lemon tree. I could probably water it and bring it back to life, but I think I'm just gonna chuck it. The kids grew it from seed, But I have too many things to worry about, so I think I'm just going to get rid of this one for now. Chef Laird's plant is doing well. It's doing really well outside. I hope you can see it. Yeah, there it is. Another house plant that I decided to put outside for the season, and it really enjoyed being outside. So yeah, that's August here on the front. Things are looking well. They're definitely looking like they've been through a really hot summer, but they're hanging in there. This little oasis here brings me so much joy, and I love coming out here and just experiencing this space. That tree trimming is music to my ears, because that means that something is being cleaned up. I know it's probably really hard to hear me, but I hope you can. I didn't use my lavalier today, my external microphone, so hopefully you can hear me. One more thing I wanted to show you all was this crepe myrtle, which I really struggled with this season. It struggled at the beginning of springtime with powdery mold, and I worked on that, and it didn't come back. That Bonide horticultural oil really seemed to have gotten rid of the mold, which was wonderful. Now I don't know if that's something I'm going to have to, stay on top of, but once I did a couple, see, I talked too soon. There's more. There's some powdery mold right there. It's not too bad yet, but it's right there on those little berries. But look at that. It's a shame. But I may have to spray it down and keep an eye on it. But for the most part, this thing it's gorgeous. Those cranberry color blossoms on this dark foliage, and there's so much more to blossom. So it's going to be full of these tufts of blossoms on this dark foliage, which adds a really nice structure to this corner here, next to the arborvitae, which is so bright and electric looking compared to that dark thing. So I love the intermixing of colors here, and the really bright with the really dark, and then the coleus, which kind of like brings it all together. It looks really good together, so I wanted to show you all that. Look at that. That's like here it is. These crepe myrtles come in so many different varieties and so many different colors. Like you can get this blossom on a green foliage, you can get white, you can get pink, you can get, and that was another thing in Ocean City, Maryland, on the shore from through Delaware into Maryland. The medians were full of crepe myrtles, the tree varieties, which were quite nice. This euonymus here grew up this structure exactly as I wanted it to, and it's an evergreen, so you get all of this beautiful variegated foliage all year long, which is awesome. And it did quite nice to fill up this trellis so well. This plexiglass here just was my attempt to bring some color over. The sun shines through, and it casts this red shadow across the yard here, which creates just this illusion of foliage color, which is just coming from this plexiglass here, which it just creates a nice environment. But all right, there's those tires. I think they're ready to harvest. I don't know. They've been growing all season. I should tell my neighbor it's time to harvest those tires and get rid of them. But in the meantime, happy growing. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and click that little bell icon, and I'll do some lives this week so we can talk and get back on the same page, because it's been a while since I posted a video, but I thank you all for supporting. All right, bye.